G'day and welcome to the Ball Boys AFL Fantasy Podcast. Today we're reviewing a very busy round 13, which was supposed to be the easy round, but I don't think a lot of us felt that that was very easy at all. We're going to break it all down today. Let's go!
Hodge has done it from nowhere. Hoisting the goal from inside the centre. Sheed from the boundary. Dusty.
Well, g'day and welcome to the Ball Boys AFL Fantasy Podcast. I am your host, Mitch Casey, and you can find me on Twitter at Ball Boys Fantasy. And joined, as always, I dragged him in here today, guys. I'm not sure if he wants to be here, but I dragged him in. Luke Rogerson, Coach the Oxlog. How are you, mate?
I'm not good. There's three certainties in life: death, taxes, and the fact that you'll be looking for a new host.
Oh, no.
I'm out of here.
Where's the violin, guys?
This sucks. This is shit. I want to be happy for you too. I do want to get behind Mitchman, but even tricking myself into being assistant coach at Mitchman is not good enough to get me up and about, because this fantasy shit sucks. And I'm not even on the worst of it. I'll be honest, I'm not even on the worst of it, but I'm just such a sook.
It was a round where
I fucking hate it.
We walked into the round. I'd imagine most people had 21 or 22 players playing. And if you were on the wrong end of things, you could have absolutely seen your rank plummet this week. If you're on the right end of things, you could have seen your rank skyrocket this week. Because there was players tagged, players injured, huge ceiling scores, whether you hit the right captaincy or vice captaincy or you missed it and you went someone, like a Dacos and the game just finished up now. It really, and a lot of those things, a lot of luck, a lot of sort of just 50-50 calls not going people's way or going your way. It's a cruel game sometimes, Luke. It's a cruel game.
Well, I only went back a couple of hundred spots, so I had a 1996 and went back to about 2,600 overall. But this is the point in the season where I'm at 2,600. I'm not going anywhere near a hat. That they don't give prizes out for the top 3,000. So at this point in the season, this is where I would just slunk back into a bush and wouldn't really care about my trades. But I have to show up for this motherfucker every Monday.
Hey,
every
you're
Friday.
here to make people laugh?
Incorrect. I'm not. I'm here for glory. I'm not. Fuck people. I want a good ranking, and my ranking fucking sucks. Content Creators Cup, let's talk about that. It's what we in the biz call an unlubricated fisting. Jepper bent me over. He didn't even...
He had the belt off.
He just was
around.
spanking me around.
Yep. What did he score? He had one of the highest of the week, I think.
2,100, something like that.
Yeah.
So don't even fucking worry about it. It's not fun anymore. Fuck
Look,
this.
the bye rounds when it comes to like head-to-head matchups, they're a bit of a...
No, I'm not buying into that. Everyone had 22 this week.
Yeah,
this is shit. There's two things you want to do in the bye rounds. You want to improve your team, and you want to improve your rank.
Well, you made some upgrades this week.
Neither of fucking which I'm doing. Neither of which I'm doing, Mitch.
You got in fish this week.
Don't talk to me.
As did everyone.
Don't worry about it. Tell us how you went.
Look,
I'll try to be happy for you. I'm going to try. Watch my face. I'll try to be happy for you.
Well, I scored a 2103.
What's your rank?
I've moved up to lucky number 13 this week.
1,300?
No, just 13.
130?
1-3.
13?
13. So, yes.
my days.
This is now officially the highest I've ever been ranked. I've never been ranked this high, so I'm now officially nervous. I feel like... Well, I don't know. Any moment the rug will be pulled out underneath me, but I'm on the front page. This is what I've always wanted to sit here at the end of a round.
Yep.
You go to that rankings page. You click,
You're on the front
my
page,
team rankings. You don't even have to click load more, and I'm sitting there. I'm in the top 20. So yeah, it's.
I have to find a way to feel good for you. I gotta live vicariously through you for the next little bit, and it come off the back of some really good trading as well. So
it did. So
everything you were saying beforehand, there was no sneaky business.
No,
so
and this is the thing,
out
right?
there to the universe.
Do I have to start? Is this what people do when they get up here? I don't know if I've ever seen a podcaster in the season that they're podcasting. I mean,
just because you haven't listened to them.
Not for that long. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Or they've become a podcaster after their success or anything like that. But So I don't know. Do I have to start deceiving people saying
a podcaster
or a content creator?
You're a podcaster, man.
Well, I can't say I'm a content creator now, apparently. So I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to call myself. Just some schmuck talking shit into a mic.
You are a schmuck. I'm a schmuck.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to start deceiving you people. 13. So take nothing what I say with the grain of salt.
Certainly don't fucking take what I have to say. There's no point in listening anymore.
But anyway, I've also moved 82 points closer to first place.
Yep.
So I'm now 142 points behind first place after being, I think I was about nearly 300 points behind first a couple of weeks ago. So fingers crossed. I don't know. I don't know if it's a bit early to start gunning for the car or anything like that, but fuck, I don't know.
If I will genuinely, I will be happy, but if I have to look out my fucking window and see a brand new Toyota Hilux in that visitor's parking spot,
I'll just wake up every morning with a little honk honk.
There's every chance I come out with a key. No, in all seriousness, I don't want to talk about the content creators. So
if we start talking about these fucking cars, I'm gonna mod myself and I'll be ranked at 101 by the end of the season.
Shout out content creators cup.
Yep. What do we got? Okay, yeah, we've got Infinite Wealth. Yeah, okay.
Tell you what to do.
I'm just imagining me in the car. I'm daydreaming over here. But yes, Content Creators Cup is brought to you by infinitewealth.com.au. Head over to Infinite Wealth, the website there, /AFL Fantasy to claim a free gift for all AFL fantasy coaches valued for nearly $3,000. You get to make some smarter financial decision courtesy of our good friend Tim Guesty and Infinite Wealth. So make sure you head on to that link, which should be in our description below, and you guys can get a good money's worth gift. Let's talk about some awards for the week.
Absolutely.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Absorbent and yellow and porous is he.
SpongeBob SquarePants!
Now, the sponge of the week, it doesn't always go to the highest scorer of the week.
Okay.
It doesn't always go to someone who, is the most skilled player, but it goes for people demonstrating observable thirst.
It's spongy behaviour.
Thirsty behaviour. We know sea sponges are the thirstiest animals on the planet, right?
Google told me.
Google told us. And I reckon the thirstiest ruckman out there is Tristan Sherry. This man is an animal when it comes to racking up fantasy points.
Get that man a drink.
Well, I wanted to highlight, there was one particular player that I just was like, that's the man that's going to win Sponge of the Week this week.
Okay.
He joined a tackle late. We know how he loves his tackle. Like someone, I think it was like a midfielder or someone was taking a tackle and he joined in super late. One of those things, but he was the last one holding on. They got called a holding the ball free kick. And this fucking ruckman gets up and goes, yeah, give me the ball, like you've never seen before. I'm pretty sure the guy who took it off was a genuinely good kick, but he said, no, I've got this kick, mate. And so that's how you got the extra 4 points for him. He got the free kick and he got the, made sure the tackle was his. He wasn't letting the tackle go to someone else and he got the kick. So it's just acts like that to me. That just gives him the Sponge of the Week. So
I like
Tristan
that.
Sherry.
I like that it's not about the overall score.
Nice.
And I reckon if anyone out there sees a particularly spongy act through the week,
let us know.
Obviously, I don't go on Twitter, but hit
me up, tag me.
Mitch up on Twitter.
Footage is even better in case I've missed it. But yeah, no, definitely get onto the sponge. We want some spongy behaviour sent in, now, as we do with this.
Well, correct. I want to talk about another fella.
My hump, 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 my hump.
Let it out, Luke.
Okay. So, Tom Green.
Tom Green.
Right.
I've copped a bit of flack for this one.
Well, and
probably rightly so.
No, but this is the thing. He fits the bill. So, a guy that just went bananas at the start of the season, a guy that obviously scored really well last year. We all expect him to be top 8 midfielder. He's underpriced because of an injury game. You get on that. You get on after his bye. You get on for a good matchup against Geelong. Whenever you get on, you get on. Now, cast your mind back 24 months.
Yeah.
Not even. And before last season, we were wrong about Tom Green. But the thing
we said last season, what did we say?
Well, this is what we said. We said we have questions on his ability to work hard to get outside ball. There's no questions he'll get 30 every week, 30 touches, but they're all going to be handballs. And we don't know about marks. He proved us wrong.
We looked like idiots.
We were idiots, and we
I went the entire
idiots.
season last year without Tom Green.
And we did. We looked like idiots. And now in the 4 weeks that I've owned him, all of the flags that I said at the start of last year seem to be coming true.
Yeah, what the fuck? What's going on?
The guy
you know what pissed me off the most about this game? One tackle.
Bro,
One tackle.
That is...
If you're getting tagged or a cooler role,
it's quenched.
It doesn't mean you can't get in there and fucking win a hardball, tackle someone, cuddle someone.
Bro, I dead set could see the humps coming out the back of his jersey midway through the game. That could be kangaroo rat territory.
Oh, no.
Camels are pretty...
They're pretty quenched animals.
But kangaroo rat's another level, and I wasn't having it. So I'm pissed off at myself. I'm pissed off at him.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off at the world.
Some people are angry that I recommended him as a target, and I'm listening. He's off the trade-in targets this week. He's out.
Chop that motherfucker.
He can't be a target anymore until we see something. Unfortunately, he's in my team. He's in your team as well, and hopefully he turns it around. But yeah, I don't know what's going on there with Tom. But lift, mate. Tackle someone. I don't care if you're being tagged. You can always tackle. And yeah, he didn't do that on the weekend.
All right, let me keep complaining in this next segment.
All right.
And the winner of the Norm Smith medal. You're an embarrassment to what you do, mate. You're an embarrassment.
Do you want the flogs, or do you want me to have the flogs? I wrote them down, but do you want to throw them out there? And
No, I'll just pick and choose.
Okay. All right. Adelaide
know.
versus Richmond. Best on ground. I'll throw this one to you.
JD, mate. Few people have got Jordan Dawson, and he didn't disappoint with a 120.
Backed up after the 60-point game last week.
The only instance where he did disappoint was if you had the VC on him.
Oh, you've taken that.
And you intended to go VC into Goulden or Flanders.
That's
That's
the rare opportunity where the 120 sucks because you've got
You made the right
three
move.
other players that a lot of people are captaining.
So I
on
can
20
see
plus points on.
I can see how he would be your flog in that circumstance.
Yeah, true. I'm going to give the flog to Jake Saligo because he's just disappointed all around. He was supposed to be the guy that people got in through the buys. He had 3 easy matchups, and you want to know he's gone in his last 3 games?
Tell me, Mitch.
77, 81, 37.
Ooh.
Gross. Absolutely gross.
Super gross.
And before that, 75, 79. So he's only gone over 80 once in the last 5, and that was an 81. So for people getting him in for the run, that didn't work out and backfired. So that's
has
not good.
Sali gotta go.
Yes, he does. Good one. Bulldogs versus Brisbane. Best on ground.
I was never considering Lockie Neal for my trades, but really in that same price bracket, LDU, Lockie Neal.
There's 30
and
points.
to see Lockie Neal come out and just absolutely dominate and give you 120.
You know he's getting tagged next week.
I can't sit here and go, I would have picked him. I wasn't going to pick him. But he was in that price bracket, and I'm a fucking idiot.
Josh Dunkley. Again, making me look like a bit of a fool here. I had him as a trade target.
He'll still be a top 8 mid.
He still will be. But he had his worst score of the season. First score under 90. And for instant reward, that is not what we wanted. And for someone who was one of the most expensive trading targets too, that is very disappointing. So he gets the flog for this game. Hawthorn versus GWS.
Thank you, Lockie Whitfield, for giving us something to like, because over the last few weeks, he's been a guy that's been, his name's been thrown around as, are we going to get off this guy? Is he even a top 6 defender? I don't know whether he is, but the weekend at least buys him a few more weeks.
This was going to be his good game. Like we sort of flagged, his run coming up is poor. This was always like a friendly one, and at Utah Stadium, that's a wide ground. I think one of the widest. Yeah,
girth is how we'll describe it.
Big old girth down there in Tassie, and their ovals are pretty wide too. But he's in for. I don't think we should get comfortable with these 120s, but at least he got that in there now. Flog. We also mentioned him in the camel of the week. Tom Green. Don't need to beat that dead horse or dead camel any further. Let's go into the next one. West Coast versus North Melbourne. You got a couple of bogs in this one.
Well, this is the thing. I was really happy with the trade in of the fish, and most people went there. It was probably the pretty obvious trade in of the week, and he didn't disappoint. Ex-Meister, we obviously gave him the sponge.
115, I think for fish.
It's probably it's the rare good trade in for me. I think I spiraled over the weekend, and I just wanted to keep beating up on myself. So I just did a quick look at the scores that my trade-ins have scored when they first come into the team.
Yeah, that first week. That sugar hit that you're looking for.
Oh, that sugar hit. And it was more of like a methamphetamine hit because it was... And not in a good way.
I was going to say, that makes it sound good.
No, I don't know, well, you big meth guy, but more in the come down.
Yeah,
because
right.
I think there was 100-plus score in there. And one of the 100-plus score, I think, was when I traded back in Flanders.
I think you've done Flanders twice. that's been the one.
Bro, this sucks.
Yeah, so that's no good. The flog, there wasn't too much floggish behaviour, but I'm going to give the AFL app just a quick drive-by here because stop fucking putting injury tags next to all our players and putting us AFL fantasy coaches into spirals of panic when we see the injured tag next to a player like Zach Fisher when he's just cramping.
Bloke sneezes.
He's just cramping.
Bloke sneezes and
someone
he gets
goes to the bench with a little bit of a limp and bang, injured. They're injured, and everyone's going to ask us on Twitter, or everyone's like panicking on Twitter. It's like, oh, what happened to this guy? He just had cramps. It's all good. Let's move on. So AFL app, just hold the gun a little bit on those ones. St Kilda versus Gold Coast.
I'm doing the flog here. You do the ball.
Okay. Well, best on ground. I don't know. You said St Kilda in this one because you wrote it down. What? Elaborate. Best on ground, St Kilda. Oh, giving up the points.
Correct.
Giving up the points to defenders. Defenders versus Saints, because obviously it's the most reliable thing to predict in AFL fantasy.
It's
and
waxier than a candle.
Listen to
Waxier
these-
than a... What other things are waxy? Surfboard.
Surfboard.
Waxier than
I don't know.
Madam Two Swords.
Good one. Yeah.
Waxier than... So waxy.
So waxy, just as waxy as anything. So listen to these some of these scores. Like, these are not your AFL fantasy greats. Bodie Uland, 124 on the weekend.
Collins,
he had 13 marks. Joel Jeffrey, 120, 12 marks. Sam Collins, 112, 12 marks. Charlie Ballard, 93, 10 marks. What is going on over at St Kilda? The good news for us fantasy coaches, they won the game. So they're going to keep doing this. Guess who plays against them this Friday?
Is it someone I have?
It is. Bit of Zork on your fork.
Oh, my
He's
God.
going to go huge against the Saints.
My God. Bend over backwards to
yes,
get him in.
So that's the big one. Who's the flog in this one?
Listen here. Okay. So,
This
look,
is hilarious.
when I traded in Tuke Miller, I had $0 left in the bank. Now,
Meant to be.
Don't hit me up. I knew what I was getting. Look, I was not expecting, 150s. I was not expecting superstar. But I tell you what I fucking wasn't expecting. A fucking tag.
The hardest tag of the year.
Bro, I almost called the cops. That wasn't a tag. That was aggravated assault.
Yeah,
that
that
was a
was-
molestation.
yeah,
that was more than a tag.
Yeah, there was one passage where there was someone else running through the guts. I can't remember who it
Windhager
was.
elected not to tackle the guy with the ball.
He ran right past him, and Windhager went, I could tackle you. But no, I'm going to stay here with Tuke Miller, and you're going to run another 15, 20 metres.
No one gives a fuck because no good coaches have him. It's just me that has him.
That's the worst part, though. He's
correct.
so lowly owned.
That's why I pick these dog shit players because I know they're never going to get a tag, mate.
You trade him in round 8, I'm fairly sure, where he went for his almighty 77. He's also since then had another 71 and then a 47, which... who the fuck who saw Tuke Miller getting tags from St Kilda? St Kilda haven't tagged all year, and they decide, you know what? Tuke Miller.
Yeah,
He's the
but
one.
it's not the tag. I'm beating it up. It's a shit pick. It's not the tag, but
It is a shit pick, but that makes it even shitter.
It rubs salt in the wound.
Yeah.
So
That was a nasty, nasty one. So commiserations if you were on that ride there with Luke as well.
on the other end, a guy who outscored him by 110 points. A guy that you had, Sydney versus Geelong, who was the bog?
Yeah, Errol Goulden, who, instant reward. He hadn't shown that 130-plus ceiling, and then this weekend, went big and racked up a lot of the peel, kicked a goal. There's a late goal there that was bloody brilliant. Outside the 50, one step in. 151, I think, for him. So he showed those... spongy tendencies that
He did.
You know and love him for.
It's a good week when the difference between your trade out and your trade in is 151 points.
Yeah, traded out a buy-round player to get him in, so I was pretty happy with that one.
You can do the flog for this one as well?
Flog is Tom Stewart. He just continually sucking. He's obviously
He actually
now...
started reasonably well.
He started well, but then sucked. So, it still sucked at the end of the day. So, can't give you points for a good quarter,
And it sucks to sucks, I'll tell you that for free.
It sucks. So he's now finally reached his buy. So if you still have him for, and I'm sorry if you do, you can now officially, mercifully trade him out of your team without any worries any further. Let's go on to Essendon versus Carlton. I didn't manage to watch any of this game, but best on ground is a guy who's been holding it down for us for the back line for the entire season.
Yeah, he's the gift that keeps on giving, Nick Martin. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, Sam Walsh is disappointed with...
Very disappointing.
Was it his lowest score of the season?
No, second lowest. His only other score besides the tag game where he was tagged by James Jordan to a 60-something. He went 70... What did he go? 79. So, yeah, very disappointing. As someone who's been really good all season, this definitely drops his average down. He's still just over the 110, but I believe he might not longer be the highest averaging midfielder. If that is correct. Anyway, but he is obviously getting the flog for this one. And today's game, Collingwood versus Melbourne. We just finished watching this. Best on ground, the ever reliable
Big Maxi. And I got the VC Flanders, so this makes it even worse how bad I went this week, but I just needed him to be the only ceiling score. I needed that desperately, and Goulden and Max, both captain options, came out, and thankfully for some coaches, not for me, that fucked me even more so.
If you didn't have one of those big boys and you were sort of riding home Max at the end, you were relieved more than anything just to go, okay, I did get at least a really decent score there.
Absolutely.
The flog goes to Neil Bullen for tagging Nick Dacos because...
And kicking him in the leg.
Kicking him in the leg too, injuring him. I think he's fine, by the way. I reckon he'll be fine to go next week. But, I think I've said this several times last week. Melbourne don't tag. And then what do? Come out and tag Nick Dacos. So
I reckon they would have tried to tag Touk Miller, but he was in a different game. That's how much he was just fucked from the beginning.
Touk's, he's an impactful player. That'll lead us into our first strategy chat for the week this week, Luke, because taggers are officially well and truly back, and it seems to be the flavour of the month again. So, who should we be worried about? And I want to go two different directions with this one.
Okay.
Which players do you believe, and probably I haven't given you any time to research this, but which players in your mind of like the top mids, or maybe some halfbackers as well, do you think are the most taggable? Like which players do you think are not going to be fighting through tags, or are there players that you think we could potentially be a little bit less concerned about when they are tagged?
Well, based on the information that I have from the weekend, it's all the elite mids of the competition. So you're looking at your Tukes, you're looking at your Grind Myers, you're looking at you're just looking at everyone that's just subpar that's in my team.
Yeah. You don't have Grind Myers. Where did that come from?
I just made it up.
Look, the good thing I think about, and I know we talk about Bontempelli being a camel, and he has been. But Bontempelli is someone that I think he is of the prototypical type of player that can fight through the tag.
No, but he goes forward. He doesn't fight. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, he goes forward. He's got another string to his bow.
Touk Miller was fighting through it. Props to that bloke, actually.
Oh, 100%. He was working hard. But, in terms of how he scores, he's going to get shut down. Yep. Like a Bont, a Heaney, Dawson to a certain degree, who switches positions around a little bit as well. I think those are the top players that you're not as worried about if a bit of attention comes their way. They're not going to get a ceiling score.
It takes the floor away. I don't think they're going to give you a 40 if they get tagged.
They're not giving you 40s, 50s, 60s. Whereas, even players like Walsh, Tom Green's obviously showed a decent floor in terms of 70s.
So what's the play then? You're not trading anyone out because it tags upcoming, I don't think.
Well, it's just definitely something we're going to have to worry about when it comes time for luxury trading season. On the flip side, who do you think are the most prolific taggers? Like Windhager's tag on the weekend was something else.
And Touk's a hard worker too.
He works bloody hard. And he gave him hell for 90 or however long. Like the last 3 minutes, he swapped over to Noah Anderson, which was pretty funny in itself. But up until the final 3 minutes, he was glued to him like a rock. You've got James Jordan as well.
I think,
they're probably the two biggest ones in terms of like impact when they do tag. Like it's a hard tag. Then you've got a bunch of these like run with roles. So your Connor Nash, your Blitz Sarves, Bullen. I didn't think it was like a super hard tag. I don't know if he's like a.
I think it's if you're holding Nick Dacos to.
He got injured.
But he was on a subpar Nick Dacos score.
I think he was going to scrape his way to an 80-90 by the end. The way he was
which is 20, 30 points below.
Yeah, I mean it's that kind of like he's not getting a ceiling score, but I think he was going to.
But it's kind of the first-ish time that we've seen something good there.
Yeah. Are there any other ones that I'm missing that are like red flag? Sort of like
only if the Finn comes back and wants to. Shit, sorry, couldn't even get it out.
Don't say his name. He's
wants to finger anyone
like Voldemort around here. So I think those are the two big ones, and it's just definitely something we're gonna have to put on our radar. So in terms of next week, we've got the Saints versus the Lions. So I think Windhager, if he's going to continue to do his role, and I don't see why they don't, he's going to Lockie Neal. Like, surely, there's no one else in Brisbane. He's not going to Zorko, is he? When they let Flanders have 42 touches,
and they win.
They're going to go to Neal. He's the Touk Miller of the Lions.
Okay. Yeah.
You've got Sydney, who are playing. Who is Sydney playing
GWS
this week?
Soon. I think Whitfield could be in the gun.
They play Adelaide. So who's James Jordan go for Adelaide? Does he go to a Dawson? He wouldn't go to Saligo, would he?
I don't think he'd go to Geelong.
Dawson's not the kind of
too big
size that James normally goes towards.
Yeah.
Could it be a Saligo?
Might. Well, could be. They might not run with one. Do you run
Maybe
with...
it's a week off.
Yeah.
Tagging for him there. Dom Sheed's another one we've seen tag as well for the West Coast. I'm not as stressed about his tagging abilities.
He likes to get the pill himself. He was sort of running around a bit with LDU, my pick trade in. So, God, my team sucks.
He's still got his way to a 90. So, lost for us to factor in, but definitely going to be a big factor when it comes to captains picking. I think this also leans a little bit more into the favour of those players that maybe will more than likely avoid a tag. So, if we think about some of those top midfielders, players like an Errol Goulden.
Yeah, plays wing. They're not...
He's sort of third in line, but behind like a Chad Warner and a Isaac Heaney.
Yeah.
Dunkley, Treloar, Jack Steele, Brayshaw are probably the main guys I think that are of those top mids more than likely going to avoid a tag most weeks because they've just got a better player in their team. Is there anyone else that you can think of those top mids? Like, what about those Port guys in terms of Rosie and Butters when Rosie does comes back? Is this a flag for Butters?
I think Rosie is a little bit more impactful when they're both flying, so I think he's more likely to get it. But then I can certainly see some coaches going, "Hey, we'll go Butters as well." So,
because he comes up, the Port Adelaide guys come up against St Kilda in round 16, so Windhager might be waiting for one of them. I think it might depend on how Rosie's looking over his next couple of weeks after coming off his injury.
Yeah. We can't blow it up too big.
Have to wait and see there. Are you tagging players like Sarong and things like that? He's kind of escaped for the most part this year so far, but is he someone that we need to be a little bit more worried about as well? And what about a Zach Merritt? Is he someone that is good enough to fight through some of these tags? He's had 2 scores below 100 so far this year. I think one was the Liam Shields tag in round 10 for North Melbourne, where he went to 78, but they were comfortably in the lead, so didn't really have to fight through as much. But he's sort of a guy that has gotten better at fighting through those kind of tags.
I mean, we've pretty much sat here and named like every possible.
That's it, right?
So I think maybe it comes into play when you're picking your captains and your VCs, but and maybe then on the week that you trade someone in, if you're looking for that sugar hit, I'm a bit of an expert at it. So you probably maybe don't trade a guy in if you're expecting the tag, but outside of that, like we can just. I also
reckon captains-wise, like those rucks just become extra valuable because you're not tagging rucks, right? So, touch wood.
Nah.
So their floor just seems a lot safer because you captain someone who goes 60 and it ruins you. And again, it just highlights my more willingness to take those 110s, not push your luck too much because a lot of people would have thought, and I myself included, thought Dacos would have been a good score this week, and obviously the tag got him there. The last talking point I want to have a quick touch on before we get to these chopping blocks is buy-round positions. And this is where you and I are in a position on, and I just want to flag this because I want everyone to have be aware of these kind of situations. A lot of the times, like I've moved players like Fisher and Sexton into my back line to get as many players on field as I could because I've got a couple of defenders on my buy this round and things like that.
Yep.
And I've also then traded in a forward for a defender. So I'm now 1 defender short. So what I need to do over these next 2 rounds is make sure that I bring in a defender for one of my forwards or midfield trade out targets to make sure that I am not stuck with one too many defenders on my field when it comes time to getting the full 22 back on after the bye rounds. And I've been cooked in this situation before. What I also don't want to do is I don't want to rely on it on the round that we're going back into it, because if Carnage hits, and this is what actually happened to me one time, Carnage hit and I had to leave a player on the bench and have an extra rookie on field for an extra week because I had to trade out someone else and couldn't get in a defender at that time. So I would be trying to, if you're in a situation, I imagine there'd be a few people out there that are in that situation, try these next couple of rounds to make sure you get in a defender. I think that's where a lot of people will be looking.
Yep.
So you can fix it up before you absolutely have to, because when Carnage hits, you might find yourself stuck in a certain situation. So just wanted to put that one out there for everyone.
Good call.
All right.
Ready to kung fu some people?
Yeah. What's going on with our rotation?
I stuffed it. I was trying to get fancy and I fucked it.
Oh, good, mate. All right, so chopping block. We've got some some dirty scores that we need to chop. Like the scores that some of these guys put up this weekend was nuts cool. Riley Bonner, 37, he scored for the weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I mean, he was someone to go anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe some people got stuck with him being named in when a lot of us thought that he might have been chopped by the actual team. Well, he's got to go now. Like, even if he's named again, he's got to go. He's scoring shit.
Roy made some good trades this week. I saw his tweet
there.
there.
Yeah, it was like Wilson, Bonner,
and Wilson.
Yeah, very, very nice.
He also tweeted something to the extent of thought Clayton Oliver would put in a good performance for his last round, and it made me sick to the stomach because good coaches like yourself, like Roy, will be looking to get off of Clayton Oliver this week. I'm still 17 weeks from getting off Clayton Oliver. That's how dog shit my team is. Clayton Oliver is so far down the pecking order. And it made me think...
So he's on there at number 5.
Just to add a little bit more misery to anyone who is in my position or worse, how do you catch these people in a good position? If you and I use Roy as an example, he's having a great year. If you and Roy are looking to move Clayton Oliver to a U-Butte, fucking Luke Ryan or something this week, or a Dane Zorko or whatever... There's fucking no chance for us coaches to go anywhere near you.
It's hard, yeah. You've got to pick the next guy. I mean? You've got to hope that the guy that we're trading out turns it around and goes big.
This is where I just have to rest on. Oh, now I've got to play for fun. No.
What is fun? What is fun in fantasy?
I'm not playing for anything that resembles fun. I'm playing for winning, and once you can't win, you give up. Yeah. What do they say? What's the old saying? What's the old saying? When you get knocked off the horse, stay the fuck down. Stay the
push
fuck.
The horse over.
Chinese proverb. That's push the horse over. Stay the fuck down. Give up because.
Oh dear. Inspirational. Inspirational over here. Some other podcasts might encourage people to be the buttermouse. Not us. Not us. We say throw the toys out. You will never make it back. Jesus. We're going to have no listeners after this round, mate. Well, anyway. Well, if you're still listening after this, well, you must be going all right then.
I got to be honest.
Because Luke told everyone else to give up.
I got to be honest.
Anyway, go back to the chopping block. It will feel good to trade out some of these players. Darcy Wilson, he's got to go. 0 bagels in the first half. Not a Jack Steele first quarter bagels. A first half bagels.
The premier rookie.
I did not sight him in the first half. I literally didn't see him. I forgot about him completely when I was watching that game. And then went, oh yeah, shit. I've got him in my team. He's on nothing. So yeah, that was fun. He's got to go. Tom Stewart, you've been holding him on for, God knows why. But he can finally go. Tuke Miller. Have I got this as someone who doesn't have Tuke Miller? Have I got this order right for you? Are you trading Tuke before Oliver?
You're not the only person who doesn't have him because I'm the only person who does. Well, this is what I don't understand. So, Tuke Miller and Clayton Oliver, in my mind, and I guess I'm biased because of what they've previously done, they're premiums. So I'm asking myself the question, well, in your position, yes, fuck them off. Yeah. But in the layperson's position that's not picking their leather interior on their Hilux. Are you trading out
Clayton Oliver or Tuke Miller this week?
Well,
is that your plan?
Well, it was actually never my intention to trade them out because I need to continue to be doing these downgrade upgrades to actually finish the buys with a completed team.
Right.
So if by trading them out, yes, I understand they're shit, but I want to look at my team and I'd probably rather fucking see Tuke Miller's name there than fucking Joel Frazier or Lockie Sullivan.
Yeah.
This is where there's a disconnect is because obviously for you and people in your position and around there, fucking chop these motherfuckers because your team is going to be complete when you get to the end of the buy. But if I chop these guys now, I'm going to be running a fucking Charlie Lazaro at F6.
Yeah. This is going to be a strong explicit tag on this podcast.
Get it up there.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. So if you're going to finish the rounds and by round 16, you're going to have a full round of premiums. Track it back a little bit and see which of these players you can afford to trade now and which ones you can't. So, for example, if you've got a Darcy Wilson or one of these other guys that you want to trade out on their buy round, although they are going to be licking cash now, you can prioritize and get rid of those guys. Some of you might have another rookie or two even to get off the field, but you could do that in subsequent weeks. Doesn't have to be that upgrade this week. But it does run the risk of if Carnage hits next week or the week after, that maybe you are stuck with one other rookie. But I think Clayton Oliver's he's almost a higher priority to me than some of those other guys. He can get to someone really good.
I agree, but I think, and this is before looking at my wheeling and dealing and whatnot, but I think the scenario where I would hope to or look to do it is if I can get my upgrade with my 2 trades, and then I can do similar to what you did, trade a guy on his buy, which in your case was Butters, to like an Errol Gould, a little mini upgrade or something like that. I mean, Tuke Miller's going to be worth 400,000 when.
Could you go like Oliver to a Rosie and just run the gauntlet and hope Rosie's back to doing what he was doing before his injury?
Maybe that's what you do from and
no one will have him.
I'm carrying on like an absolute pork chop. But my rank is better than where some people have like you described it, hit every pothole.
Yeah.
Like potholes so deep you're looking at Satan himself, like the depths of fucking hell. So don't get me wrong, but I'm just
No,
so
I get you.
That's where I'm at. That's where my head's at.
Yeah, no, I think so. If I was to put a number on it, if you have 2 rookies left on field, you have the ability to still trade out a Clayton Oliver, a Tuke Miller, a Tom Stewart, these guys now, and still finish your team by the end of the buys, because you're going to have round 15, and you're also going to have the round between the end of the buys and the start of the normal best 22s to get those final 2 upgrades. So even if this week is a week where you maybe it feels like a sideways shuffle, these guys are upgrades waiting to happen. If you've got 3 still needed to go, then you're going to have to hold these guys, because you have to get those rookies off the field. As we saw, at any point, even the best rookies on the in the comp, like a Darcy Wilson, have the ability to drop a 34 when they're not being tagged, when nothing's happening, everything's going fine. They score a 0-point half, so those guys do have to go. But we've still got 3 more trading periods between now and the end of the buys. So you've got 2 that you can upgrade, 1 that you can trade out that guy.
Darcy Wilson 34.
Gross.
It sucks, but like Tom Green 77, I almost feel worse about that. I expect Tom Green to be 115.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. All right, let's move on to some players that are good that we are trading into our side. Now, number 1 for me is the Dorco, Zane Dorco. So he's got St Kilda this week, and I think instant reward. This is what you've done well this year. This is where, in fairness to you. Yes. This is where I've tried to do this year, is try and target those matchups, get that instant reward. And this is what Dane Zorko is this week with, obviously, you've seen Flanders go 160.
Yeah, you have to back.
You've got to back it in. He's going to be, I think most teams should walk out of this round with Dane Zorko in their side. Number 2, I've got Errol Gould. And number 3, I've got Caleb Strong. Number 4, I've got Luke Ryan. 5, I've got Jordan Clark. Now, those 4 players I find very difficult to rank or prioritise. Okay. How would you look at those 4 players, and which of those 4 players do you feel like you don't have any of them, actually? Just looking at the list here. Who out of those 4 players do you want the most?
It's position.
Yeah.
For me. You mentioned it before. I squeezed myself into a corner where I need to bring in a defender so that I can send Fish forward.
Right. So of Luke Ryan, Jordan Clark, you're paying obviously an extra, nearly 150,000 more.
It's a lot of money, but see, I don't know if this is a silly sort of bias to have, but like Jordan Clark, I know what he's done in the last couple of weeks, but for some reason in my mind he's still not a premium. That's right. Like the way I'm saying that is incorrect. But do you know that feeling
he's not
when
top of his line?
Yeah, but I even would have said that about Luke Ryan going into this season. So I'm conflicted there. But I'll once I can move the magnets around after lockout lifts, I'll have a real good look at it. But Luke Ryan was my initial thought this week, and I think it's probably going to go that direction. Just because I need a backman, although I'd love to have like an Errol or a Sarong as well.
I think I've got Luke Ryan ranked ahead of Jordan Clark because in round 16 they come back up against Sydney Swans, and you would think based on what they did last time they're going to go to a Jordan Clark. So that's the tiebreaker for me. So if you have the cash, I would trade in Luke Ryan over a Jordan Clark, but I wouldn't be upset if you can get a Jordan Clark and save a bit of money and do that as well if you've got a bit of a plan over the next couple of rounds to make some trades, and that cash you think is going to be the difference. I think that's okay as well. In terms of the midfielders, I've got Errol on here because of the tag thing that we spoke about before. I think he's the safest option out of he and Sarong in terms of avoiding the tag because of the other players in his team.
Yeah, position he plays too.
Yeah, he plays the wing. He's just hard to shut down. He's on the ground, bloody 100% of the game time. Played 95% time on ground.
What a fucking beast. And still running strong at the end.
Yeah, doesn't slow down at all. So I've got him over a Sarong. I think Lockhart hasn't lifted just yet, but I think he will still be... Oh, actually, no. They probably will be very similarly priced after this round, so not too much to separate there. Maybe that's a little bit of knee-jerk reaction to the big score on the weekend, but I think I'm justifying by that tag or lack of tag risk for him versus Caleb Sarong. Although Sarong doesn't come up against any obvious tag threats for a little while unless a James Jordan does go to him in round 16 instead of a Jordan Clark. But obviously it worked for them last time, so I'm not sure why they changed that up. So those are my trade-in targets. You'll see I've removed players like Tom Green. I want to see something from him. Josh Dunkley, I think we can wait for that price to drop a little bit further. I prefer some of those other midfielders. Sheasel, I'm assuming we've all got Zach Fisher. Sheasel, he was back forward a little bit more on the weekend. The other guy I want to speak to you about, and I wasn't watching this game, watching this player, but the score and the price absolutely begs the question. Jai Simpkin, is this man an option? He's still going to be under $600,000 as a forward. He's coming off a score of 132 or 134.
It's against the Weagles, and
it was against the Weagles, and the only win of the season so far.
Yeah, it was. We know that
controversial holding the ball goal call at the end, which gave him like a plus 12 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, he's scored well in this role in the past, and
yes,
in my mind, I think that he's cheap enough to be a loose-ish pick that could propel you, especially because you can bring him in as a forward.
Yeah, so this is where my mind goes for this season. Once I saw that score and I saw the score of a Darcy Wilson, you could potentially trade a Darcy Wilson down to a Simpkin. You're not going to make a huge amount of money because obviously Wilson scored so shit on the weekend. His price is going down, but it's still going to be more expensive.
But you'd feel in that role... and I'm not even going to say that I think at a minimum they would score comparatively with Simpkin in that, and that's like a bare minimum.
Yeah.
And then your highest potential output is Simpkin's been a guy that's gone just under 100 before. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, he scored like 90s, I think back-to-back 95 seasons. So he had a 65% CBAs. That's his highest CBA attendance for the season. He's only gone over 50% twice, 2 other occasions on the season. So far this year, he's a forward. He's under 600,000. He's had his buy. His break even is going to be super low. He's going to be making cash. So even if it's not a long-term top 6 forward play, it's just a get through the buys, make a quick cash grab, ride his price for a little while kind of a play, and then you might be able to trade him out later.
Am I right in saying that Collingwood, Melbourne, Western Bulldogs is a decent 3-game run? In that role, I know Collingwood's not too bad, but Melbourne and
and you wouldn't expect him to be a tag risk with Sheasel and LDU run around for them.
You'd certainly hope not.
I think it's a solid run.
The potential upside is massive, and I think if, like you said, if you're going from like a Wilson, it's just the cost of going from a Wilson down to a basement rookie. That cash, what can that cash get you compared to?
Like if you're upgrading to him, it's not something I would feel good walking away from this week.
No.
But with those 3 trades. One sideways to him, the other trades a rookie down and a rookie up or a premium up or whatever like that. I think that's a solid move for this round. And cross your fingers that he can do something even close. Now, again, I'm not expecting him to put up 132s. That is not going to happen.
Yeah.
But for someone at his price, he is definitely someone that we should be absolutely paying attention to. Because the other reason that makes him so attractive is there's no fucking rookies. Like, there are no rookies for us to go to.
We're going to have to trade in a defender rookie as well.
We are.
This week. And
Will Dawson went down. He scored a 0 on the weekend.
Imagine had you traded...
That was one of my options.
Yeah.
Trading a Wilson
instead of Butters to...
Yeah, that would have absolutely sucked. Yes, I have kissed. I don't know who you go to.
Yeah. That's it. Let's look at that at the end of the week.
Yeah, we'll have to look because there's no Thursday night games as well. So you might maybe you're looking at a Toby Pink, who's gone up 50K for the entire season so far.
Oh man,
I don't know. It's really slim pickings there.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see what rookies are named on Thursday night. We'll talk about them through on the Friday live show. Any other targets that you think we should discuss today coming off the round 13 bye? Can I interest you in a Dan Houston? No.
No, you can't.
No.
Sorry.
Zach Butters or a Rosie. You can't launch into Rosie without seeing anything. His break even still astronomically high.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. Yeah,
we're done with Travis Boak.
Where do you at what point do you start sort of like swinging for the fences, so to speak? And actually, this kind of depends on what your aim is, because not everyone's aim is like an overall rank.
Yeah.
Everyone's playing in leagues. People are,
Well, we talked about this a bit before. Like, if your ranking's gone to shit, like yours seemingly has.
And going to shit is relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's like if I want to be top 5,000, then that's different to you want to whatever. So
this is where the back half of the season's fucking annoying anyway, because it's all luxury trades.
Yeah.
Like, any guy you trade in can lose you 100 points from the guy you traded out. It's frustrating. So this time of the year, if you are not where you had hoped to be at the start of this year, it is the time to maybe experiment and try some weird and wonderful things. Get in to play like a Jai Simpkin or one of these guys. Maybe try and make some cash down from perhaps a Max Gawn down to a Tristan Sherry if you traded him out before, and do something a bit weird and wacky that way, see if you can get a leg up from people missing Max this week. Things you wouldn't normally do that you could just see if they work and maybe apply it to your season next year. Or if your goal is to just, make the top 1,000 or beat your mates in a league, focusing on that and, create some unique matchups in your favour that way. So there's a lot of different ways you can play it. Not just obviously playing the straight bat, which obviously we talk a lot about when we're trying to get the best overall rank. Because it's different for everyone around this type of year, because it is a bit clearer whether or not you're in contention for a hat or a car or, the Ball Boys Championship.
Are you number one in the Ball Boys Championship?
I think I'm still not. There's still someone beating me. I was looking at that today. Actually, let me double check that. The Ball Boys overall classic. Oh, let's check this guy. What's he at? No, he dropped down. So I think I'm second. Second to would be rude not to, who is sitting in third place. So sorry if I butcher your name here, but Soyas, I'm coming for you, mate. I want that Ball Boys Championship. I also want to be a number one Richmond player as well. I'm behind Gozzy's Gangsters as well. So I'm second in both those comps.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun end to the season.
I hope it's going to be fun. I hope it's not going to be painful. But yeah, we might wrap it up there. Quick, short and sweet podcast today. Well, maybe not so sweet, but hopefully you guys can get those raise trades going, chop those losers out of your team, and we'll see you on Friday. We won't have any footy to review, so we'll have a fresh, clean slate of games to preview and some big boys to run through. Make sure you guys, if you are having hopefully a fun season, give this podcast a big like and subscribe over on YouTube. Don't put the thumbs down. Put those thumbs back up. Give us a 5-star rating and review, if nothing else, just to cheer up Luke and make his day. And follow us on Twitter at Ball Boys Fantasy.
Too deep in the pit.
We may or may not see you on Friday to talk about our live show. Until then, guys, we'll catch you later. Bye.